Having some technical
Behold,
difficulties.
the frying pan. So this thing, it looks kind of boring at first, but let me tell you, it's like a magic lamp. If you know its secrets, you can conjure up anything that your taste buds could ever wish for. Fry some eggs, sizzle some bacon, saute some vegetables. The possibilities are endless. Now, we're all young children / adolescents with hearty appetites. We all love food. So it would seem that things such as frying pans or ovens or grills should be our best friends. However, this is not the case, because for most of us, our parents make our food for us, so we don't know how to cook. If you give us a frying pan, most of us will think, what ingredients do I use? What tools do I use? What temperature do I cook it at? We're all clueless about cooking, and so we have to rely on things such as microwavable Hot Pockets or boxes of boring cereal. But let me tell you, things don't have to be this way. In my experience, cooking is not as mysterious or difficult as it may seem. And so, with a little bit of practice and the right intuition, you too can unlock a whole new world of culinary creation. See, when I was little, my parents made my food for me. All I was interested in was the end product, whatever was on my plate at dinner time. I didn't understand what went into the process of cooking. As long as my stomach was happy, that's all I cared about. As I grew older, my parents would tell me, hey, Acacia, you should probably learn how to cook. See, when we were young, when I was like 8 years old, I cooked for my whole family. Well, I told my parents, I have a lot of homework to do. I don't have time to make food. But really, I was just lazy. I didn't want to go through the whole process of learning how to cook. However, this all changed one day. One day, I woke up, my parents were at work, and there was no breakfast set out on the table. I looked around, and we were out of cereal. There was no microwavable Hot Pockets in our fridge. When I opened the fridge, all I saw was bags of strange Chinese vegetables that I couldn't name, and my hunger was growing more and more desperate. Then I looked closer, and I found a box of eggs. I realized at this moment that this would be a turning point in my life. I would make a fried egg all on my own. See, I had made a fried egg before, but it was with the help of my parents. So this time, I'd have to use a lot of intuition, judgment, and a little bit of luck. So, I took out this carton of eggs, turned on the stove under the frying pan, got the little gas fire going. I poured in what I thought was the right amount of oil, and then, here goes nothing, I cracked the egg into the pan. So far, so good. But suddenly, the egg started sizzling. Hot oil was popping out all over, getting on my hands. And the color was quickly changing from clear to white. And I thought, wow, this is way too fast. This is really scary and painful. I quickly scrambled to get a spatula so I could flip the egg before it got burned on one side. And it was really hard because there was oil flying everywhere, the egg was like slipping around. But finally, I got it. A beautiful golden egg flipped over, bronzed and smiling up at me from the pan.
Is that a real egg?
I realized magic has happened. So I let it cook for a little bit longer, and then flipped it onto my plate, and voila, success, culinary success. As I sat down to eat my delicious egg really happily, I realized, hey, that wasn't so bad after all. So the next day, I made another egg, and another egg, and another egg. In fact, over the next few days, weeks, and months, I would make dozens of fried eggs, scrambled eggs, omelets, and everything in between. In fact, after I had mastered the art of making eggs, I moved on to other foods, such as bacon, which was the same deal as eggs. Cook one side, flip it to the other, but you have to be careful because a lot of oil would pop out from bacon. Or some sauteed vegetables, which were less messy than bacon, but they hissed really loudly because they had a lot of water. When I explored these different foods, I felt like a scientist classifying different species of animals, except they were actually food. I also began experimenting with pairing different types of fresh produce with cooked foods, such as nice, creamy avocado to go with bacon, which is crispy, or some very simple and delicious cinnamon-topped bananas, which I'll let you all find out for yourselves how delicious it is. Over time, I ventured out beyond the frying pan. I learned from the internet how to bake asparagus in olive oil, how to make a crispy roast duck, and how to simmer some butternut squash soup. I also learned how to clean and prepare everything from poultry to venison to squid. So, as I explored these different food making processes, I found that my kitchen had changed from a wild jungle full of strange animals and plants to my own personal chemistry lab where I could mix anything I want and create something amazing. And so what you should take away from my story is that cooking is really not as difficult as it may seem. It'll take some practice, and yes, you might make some mistakes along the way, such as leaving your stove on after you finish cooking, which is really bad, or using the wrong ingredients, or using a wrong temperature. But these are the things that help develop your intuition about food. And so, once you learn how to cook, it's like enlightenment. You'll never want to go back to the dark, soggy realm of instant noodles, or Hot Pockets, frozen waffles, all that junk. Food is liberating, and let me tell you, it really is magic. All you have to do is learn the secrets of the frying pan. Thank you very much.
Getting comfortable with visual aids, what you did was so out of the norm. You took something like visual aids, and you stepped out of what normally people would choose. It would just be like a gavel, a textbook. But instead, you chose a frying pan, and you chose edible objects to show exactly what you were trying to say. And I think by using these aids, you just leave the audience more engaged in your message. And especially, that brings me to another point, your gestures. And I think your gestures pertaining to your topic were very effective, especially when you took the pan and you said like sauteing or like frying, and you took the eggs and you just plopped it down there, and everybody was like, where did that come from? And it just surprised everyone, which got everybody's attention even more. You also, I noticed that you used the full stage, which is only, of course, for your advantage. And you had a very dramatic storyline, which I really liked, because there was so much drama. You kind of made something as simple as cooking more than just cooking. It's an adventure. You're a scientist. You're experimenting with these things that you never thought that you could experiment with. Something that I saw that you could improve on was, especially in your beginning, you had this dramatic entrance. And something I would just suggest is to keep up that dramatic tone, because afterwards, once you kind of dropped it, it just kind of lost its effect. It could be enhanced even more if you just kept it up. Also, for your stance, I know that some people have this kind of problem, but just stop trying to shift and stuff. And just with the gestures, I do this too, but just keep them by your side. And that way when you say you, like, it's just not already here, you know. But overall, I thought that for a number 8 speech, that was incredibly creative, and kudos to you. Okay, so please help me welcome up